Well, I just wanted to show you this. These are the first flowers of the Spanish flag, so Mina lobata, and they are just starting to come out. Aren't they gorgeous? Now, I actually thought they were a little bit late this year, but it just popped up in my Facebook feed that it was a year ago that the first flower came out in 2016. So actually, we're on track. Aren't they stunning? I mean, up close, they are really lovely. And further away, they just kind of subtly catch your attention. So at the moment, obviously, most of this vine is just greenery. But you can imagine when it is covered with these blooms, it's going to be fabulous. So I've got this section here. You can see it's completely gone mad. And then I've got another section there and another section there. So I can't wait for this all to be swathed in these stunning flowers. But for now, I just have to come and have a close-up look. Well, so far, this grow light system with these strip lights seems to be doing really well. Now, you can't really see a huge amount of difference on the mint or the cuttings because I'm obviously waiting for the roots to take hold. But the young little basil seedlings are definitely showing signs of progress, and good progress at that. So this one in particular, if we bring it out, it looks very healthy. So I'm quite impressed with this system. I've got some seedling lettuces. I'm going to put those in here next and see how they do. I just want to try and get these. These are all cinnamon basil. There's a couple of coriander. There's 2 corianders. The rest is cinnamon basil. I want to just grow them in here and see if I can get them to become really lovely bushy plants and see how this grow system is doing. But so far, so good. So this might be a very cheap grow light system that I can use throughout the winter. So let's catch up with the chicks. So as you can see, the quail chicks are growing really fast. They're only a week old, but they don't stay tiny for very long. And they grow at a tremendously fast rate. And if you think these birds are actually ready for the table in 8 weeks. So there are 6 quails in here, all getting their feathers. There's a little stripy one there. Hello. And then for the time being, they are in here with the 3-day-old silky chicks, of which you can see then. They will soon start to outstrip them, and so they'll now put them into a separate, larger brooder, but for now, they're all in together. Now, I did check the thermometers. My new thermometer came today, and guess what? Since I last used the incubators, both thermometers were off by 2 Celsius. So that's why we had the poor hatch rate. So all those chicks almost got to the end, but it was just too cold for them. Why both thermometers stopped working and went down by 2 Celsius, I have no idea. But now I have a proper incubating thermometer with a line where it says 37.7 degrees, which is the perfect line. So hopefully this next hatch of quail should be really good. But for now, babies. So today I'm just working on the flower beds for a little bit. Now, if you know me, you know that I like grasses, and I tend to keep several clumps of these grasses in this bed and it cascades through, but it's not really looking its best anymore. This grass tends to last for about a year, but then once it goes to seed, it turns this straw yellow. It doesn't really come back. You can see that there is some new growth in here. There's a bit of greenery, but honestly, this makes it look so messy. So what I'm actually doing is I'm pulling it all out. So you can see I've pulled all the plants from down there out. And it doesn't matter because it grows so fast. If you look down here, it seeds really well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let some of these plants grow into little bigger ones, and then I'll pull all of the rest of this grass out and I will transplant into the border. And I do that every year. And the quails love this grass to make little nests in, so it's no loss to the border, and it's for them. Well, if you saw my video last week, you would have seen that I got those thornless blackberries, and I finally get them into the garden. So the first is here. It's a bit shaded out by this dogwood, but this dogwood will lose all its leaves in the winter, so it'll be fine. The second one is here, and the third one is here. So I'm growing them up onto the trellis. Now the thing about these thornless varieties, they're from Liberia, they're upright growing. So like your normal bramble, it will scramble all over the place, go sideways, lie across the ground. These will actually form a very upward point, and then they'll do a little bit of splaying out across this, but they won't go mad growing that way and that way. So they're finally in. Barry's crowing like crazy, and then we'll just see how they do over the coming year. Good morning! So in my 20 years of ornamental gardening, I have never grown a zinnia until this year. Look at that beauty. So I always thought they were a bit of a faffy plant because they were annuals, and I don't really like annuals. I like perennials that you can put in and forget about over the years and they just repeat flower. But these zinnias have come up trumps. Now I didn't buy these ones. These were just a random packet that I found in my collection, so I planted them out. Look at that. And they're actually still in their 9cm pots because I also forgot to put them in the garden. But they've done amazingly. They've done really, really well. This is the first lot of flowers, and you can see there's now new buds coming out. They're brilliant for cut flowers. The dog actually broke a stem the other day, and I popped it in a vase, and it still looks the same as it did the day it broke. So I'm going to grow a ton more of these next year. Lots of different colours for cut flowers and for the garden because they're just pretty darn fabulous. Hello. Hello, little chicken. So if you were watching the live stream, the Saturday night live stream, you will already know this, but Brienne of Tarth is dead. And I'm not talking Game of Thrones, I'm talking chickens. She had canker, which I'm pretty concerned about because it was bad in her and it is contagious, and I'm just concerned that she might have spread it to the others. Now I'm fairly sure it was picked up from the pigeons, because 80% of pigeons have canker, but they can deal with it. Chickens can't, they get these horrible lesions in their mouth. So I'm down with the hens. Everybody looks fine, but that's the problem because it doesn't really present itself until it comes in this lesion form in the mouth. So, hello. And I have some favourite hens, as you can see here, with little Clumsy. Hi. So I'm nervous at the moment and worried about the possibility of these lovely hens getting canker and having to cull them. But so far, so good. So keep your fingers crossed, please.